Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect on Playback. We are now on the Playback platform, but we are also posting our podcast episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and soon enough Facebook as well. Maybe we have a special episode today. We have two great guests. Coach Charles Tiu just landed in Manila a few hours ago after helping lead SGA to a William Jones Cup championship in Taiwan following what was a very exciting finals matchup against Taiwan. Okay, everybody, I believe Coach Charles Tiu is now in the stream. I have invited him to come on the stage. Hey, Coach, how are you? Thanks for joining me tonight.
Hello, thanks for having me. A bit tired. We had a crazy flight, but still
Crazy,
alive.
why? Was turbulence bad?
Really, really bad. I think all of us were about to throw up in the plane.
Oh
We were
my
about to
God.
land, and like 1 minute down, we see all the houses. Then all of a sudden, the plane goes back up, and we had to go another round. And I guess the
Wow.
pilot couldn't see. Crazy, but
Wait, so you guys actually landed in the runway and then had to go
no,
fly back up?
like right before landing or touching down the runway, we just shot back up real quick. We
Man,
were like,
that's
oh.
crazy. Was the weather also wild in Taiwan like it is now in
No, it was
Manila?
so hot there actually. The flight was okay until we got to the Philippine area. Like the last few minutes was just terrible. But
Nah, well, thanks for joining us, Coach. Glad you all made it safely. Yes, everyone tuning in, you guys will get to ask Coach Charles a few questions later on. But first thing I want to know, Coach Charles, is how did you guys celebrate last night? I mean, it must have been fun, huh?
I mean, it was a Sunday night, so not too many spots open. Just had a simple gathering in C'est La Vie with our team. Had a few drinks. I mean, the guys went out after, but we just went back to the hotel to rest. It's a bit tiring too. Everybody was hungry. It was a long day, long game, but yeah, I mean, everybody was happy to win the championship. Nothing special, just a simple celebration with our bosses.
Awesome, awesome. I'm sure the bosses are proud. Talk about how that game unfolded. For the most part, it looked somewhat like Chinese Taipei was a little bit in control until later at the end, where you guys really made a push and had a great rally. What was behind that? Was there an adjustment you made that you felt shifted the game to your favor?
Well, actually, to me, in the first half, they started the game defending really well. We started sloppy. The one thing we talked about before the game was not to turn the ball over because that was the strength of Chinese Taipei. We had four turnovers in the first four possessions, but we found our bearings. We eventually took the lead. We were up by seven entering the half. And all of a sudden, the third quarter came by. I thought we were being a bit too cute, got careless, gave them some confidence. And when they got back in the game, when they got the lead, everybody started playing a bit selfishly. They wanted to do things on their own, and we lost what we were doing throughout the tournament. So we were having averaging what almost 30 assists per game, but when it mattered, everybody medyo kanya-kanya. So it's a bit hard, but eventually we got the stops. So I mean, I think that really made the big difference for us. We found a way to get stops and try to go to the right matchups. And of course, guys like RJ Kiefer, they made big plays. Our import, Taiwan AG, really was big for us.
Got you, got you. Now there's a lot to unpack.
Like,
I know this. I see this question by Tonyo already. I think he came prepared. But when you saw Kiefer uncork that 3-pointer from the corner late in the fourth, did you think it was going to go in, or were you kind of in suspense like all of us?
it's crazy. I really trust Kiefer in the end game. A lot of times, he bailed us out. I mean, I've had great runs with Kiefer even in the past. I know he does things that also drive me nuts. I was so upset with him to start the game. He let that young kid in Taipei go off for 8 points. I was mad. But even in the Ukraine game, he made huge plays. He had 5 points and a huge assist when we were also down by seven. And it's the same thing for us this game. Kiefer made plays, big stops, little things, and it's just that I trust him a lot to make good decisions and really control the game. So I had confidence when he shoot it that it would go in. In fact, the last play was for him. He just slipped and kind of got pulled by number five. The refs obviously weren't going to call a foul, but I trust him to make good decisions, and he delivered.
Absolutely. That seems to be the key for experience. There will be times he will make mistakes. There will be times errors are apparent, but when it matters most, Kiefer just
Yeah.
knows how to step up. There are big game players, and he's one of them. And I know we're talking SGA right now, but I'm just going to interject a little comment from my sister here, CSB related. Hi, Coach Charles. I need a Benil title like yesterday. If you win us a chip, I will build a statue for you outside Taft Avenue. Sa McDo, tapat ng main building. So let's see if Coach Charles can bring a championship. We'll talk about
I
CSB
will.
a
I
little later. Go for it,
I will
Coach.
count on that when it happens. All right.
Okay, Nix, you're not getting the capital from me. I'm just saying. Okay, let's go to a question here from RC. Coach, you were a Tionglan supporter in your Savior days. Do you have a plan to suit up in the Filipino Chinese High School Alumni League like your high school teammates T.Y. Tang and Joseph Yo?
I'd love to be honest. I heard there was a league for our age group. Obviously, Ty and Joseph are playing in the 40 and up, but apparently there was no competition amongst the Chongnian teams. They didn't have enough teams to join, so our age group didn't have one. I'd love to play, although the games are also a bit far in the Manila area. I don't really like to go too far, but I love to play for Xavier, so I would love it.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Coach, after the game, there were some interesting social media posts by a few of your players, Chris, RJ in particular. So Tonyo here wants to know what are your thoughts on RJ's social media posts regarding some quote unquote allegations. Do you have any context behind that?
RJ's funny for sure. I guess they were upset with the officiating, but you know what? We talked about it. We expected it. No home court advantage, packed stadium, everybody cheering the team on, booing every call. I thought for the most part in the first half, the calls were okay. I mean, they let go of little things. It's funny. I kept asking the referee to call some fouls on their import who was holding our guys. Konting pasimple and dislodging, not allowing them to move. But the refs are like, look, we're not going to call these things. It's the finals game. We're letting you guys play. And all of a sudden, in the fourth and overtime, they're calling all these ticky-tack fouls. I mean, both our imports fouled out. And there were a lot of plays. Even the replay, you could see that they called a loose ball foul on Kiefer. He didn't touch the guy. Our imports stole the ball. I mean, lots of ticky-tack calls. But, I mean, in the end, we still found a way to win. So it's all right, I guess. I mean, that's part of it.
Interesting, interesting. Well, thanks for letting us into that insight, Coach Charles Tiu, joining us here on Playback. Again, if you want to check out other episodes, we are also on YouTube and Spotify. Coach Charles, for your CSB guys with the team, training with the team ahead of the NCAA season and just being around all these pros, what does that do for their development and how does that help them in the collegiate scene?
I think it's great. Number one, I think they show that they can hold their own even against these guys, against international play. So I kept telling the young guys to learn from all these veterans, these pro players, guys like Kiefer, our imports who could really teach you the little tricks of the trade and what it means to be professional. Even in our walkthrough in the championship game day in the morning, it's interesting. Kiefer was getting mad at Enot like for not being serious, and Kiefer was like, "Look, we want to get out of here, so stop clowning around. We want to rest as much as possible. Do your job, get the job done, do what we're supposed to practice." I mean, little things like those help a guy understand that what it means to be professional, what it means to help the team. But when I gave Tony and Allen a chance, they really delivered. In fact, I wish I could have let them play more, but obviously we have some guys that are in that pecking order. They got to pay their dues somehow. They'll get there one day, but it's a good learning experience for them, I'm sure, and I'm sure they learned a lot from this.
What was the struggle that your guys like Ange Kwame and Renza Bando and even one of your recruits from abroad, what were they going through the last few days just to be able to play in that final? Renz with his hand and Ange with his knee and even the food poisoning situation.
Yeah, with Rent, it's crazy. I didn't even know his hand was that bad. I think it was it the Japan game or no the USA game. He only tells me like right before tip off, it's swollen. I'm like, man, why are you telling me now? I could have let the other guys play. Because he really wants to play. And then before that, he already had some knee injuries. He probably went through maybe less than 5 practices, 3, 4 practices, because he couldn't go. But he was forcing it because he wanted to play. He wanted to represent the country well. And I didn't even know he was hurt. And I'm throwing lob plays for him, getting him dunks, and he couldn't even catch the ball well, and it hurt. But it turns out even when his hand was swollen, his shooting hand was like a ball. He still hit some threes. So we're like, man, I mean, maybe it's a good thing now. But with Anchi, he came back from a vacation in the Ivory Coast when he was out a bit 3 weeks, and when he came back in, there was no ramp up phase for him. Like we were in the middle of things, so he got there right away, and that's probably where his knee got a bit swollen. Like they drained a lot of fluid on his knee 2 days before the championship game, and he really just wasn't moving well. He wasn't himself, and that really hurt him a lot. But still, he was a big piece for us. He helped us in a lot of our games, and we're glad that those two guys really fought back and helped us win the championship.
Was the knee issue related to what he was dealing with in his final season with Ateneo, or is that still like not
I think
100%?
this is a different issue. It's just parang siguro swelling lang eh. I guess
Mm.
overuse, a little bit out of shape. I mean, he came in a bit bigger than normal, so I mean there are a lot of different factors, I guess.
Got you, got you. Okay, and for those in the spectators list right now, if you guys want to ask questions, feel free to come on the stage so you can ask Coach Charles your question or send them in the comments box. Appreciate all our usuals like Karina, Nico, Pancho, Tonio, Nicole, Enzo, and everybody else. Basketball PH in the house. Thanks, everybody. Okay, let's get to some questions here, Coach. I gotta ask this one. This one's funny. RC wants to know, Coach, care to share your skincare routine? You seem to have good skin, apparently.
I have zero skincare routine, man. I probably need to put some moisturizer. I'm getting old and wrinkly. No skincare routine, unfortunately.
Got you, got you. Okay, here from Mateo. Coach Charles, will we see the same energy, rotation, and intensity at CSB and usage of your quote unquote star players with regards to the SGA team? Do you see something similar there, Coach?
Well, I think obviously we want to use our stars, but to me it's also about developing players. I really like to develop guys and always looking at the big picture. With the SGA team, it's like win right now. We're here for one mission, a short uh, 10, 20 days group. So everybody knew their roles before coming. I'm like, hey, this is. I explained to them what I expect from them. With CSB, I'm like, it's hard for me also as a coach. You look at the players, you're like, you recruit a guy, you want to let them play too. And it's not hard, not easy for guys practicing one full year, practicing hard, and they ride the bench the whole time. So if I can, I try to let everybody play. I try to let them have their experience because I want guys to develop. I want to give guys the opportunity. Now, obviously, do we want to win 100%? And probably we will be a bit tighter right now with our rotation. But then again, we also have a deeper team than in the past, I think. So, it's something we'll have to see as the season unfolds. Like in terms of the guys, our rotation, our depth chart, it's changing week to week, day to day, depending on how guys look in practice in friendly games. So it's something interesting. But I think that's a good question. There's another question that I like. I
Go
saw.
for it. Go for it. Which one do you want to answer?
I have no idea. It disappeared somewhere. I saw there was something. I think the Zonism.
Enzo. Enzo, yeah, about how's the process of building a roster for SGA?
Yeah, it's interesting. Actually, we first of all, I look at which local players are available, and then I try to get an import that would fit them. In this case, the one of the earliest guys I called right away was Kiefer. He said yes. I didn't even know if he was serious, but he said yes. And I started looking around. Kalen Chongson, I wanted to help him out in the PBA. And I said, you know what? Why don't you play with me first? Get you used to basketball, get you back in shape first. And then everything kind of just aligned. He's like, okay, let's wait if I have a job overseas. Didn't happen. So he was on board. Same thing with Renz. I said, let's play here first. And even RJ. It's just that RJ and Dave all of a sudden decided to join the draft while they were there. Gio Chu was also there. Ange has been very close to our team owners ever since. So all these guys we all have a good relationship with, and it wasn't that hard to recruit them. Jordan, obviously, after my stint with him in Dubai, we had a great relationship too, and I called him up, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." Even DJ Fenner. DJ Fenner, I've eyed him for about maybe at least 5 years now. Tried to bring him in when I was still in Mighty Sports. Just didn't really have his papers then, and he was just playing overseas. But well, he still doesn't have his papers now. But we are helping him get his papers. DJ, by the way, his mom is pure Filipina, Lolo, Lola, everything. I mean, when he gets his papers, then he's gonna join the PBA draft. But he's a really good guy, and everything kind of aligned. Kevin Kemba was supposed to join us, but
Mm.
obviously he begged off because he's probably missing too much time being with Gilas and wanted to focus on DLSU. But when I had this lineup, I'm like, okay, I don't really need Kevin as much as I would have. So yeah, I guess that's
Ki-
how we
Kai
formed it.
Balungay was supposed to join too, right?
Yeah,
There were
but
10.
last minute, I don't know. Their agent, their group wanted to go in a different direction. Wanted to focus on the draft. I don't really know how you can focus on the draft when there isn't much going on pre-draft, anyways. But it's great for Kai.
Awesome. Well, Kai was picked number 4 in the PBA draft, and another guy picked was RJ Abarrientos at number 3. And one of the viral videos tonight of the draft was the one you took and posted of RJ once he found out he was selected by Ginebra. Take us through the energy of the room that evening as everyone was watching the draft. Kalen as well, Dave being waiting to be called. Kiefer was there just to support these guys. You were there too. What happened then?
It was funny because even a day before in the morning, we were all making our own rumors or speculations in our head, discussing with one another. RJ did get some text from the Ginebra staff beforehand about potentially picking him. Dave got a call from Northport. I mean, he was told the day before. So, but still, until you get there, until you get drafted, you never really know. So it was big excitement. RJ still was surprised, I believe, because I mean, there's so many different scenarios. You guys, the media, write about it, and it was just great though. Everybody was having fun. Jordan Kiefer, they were there. Gio, just watching these guys get drafted. I think it was a pretty cool moment.
Awesome. Of course, yeah, it did look very fun and it looked like the energy in the room was good. I do want to get to some questions here now from Nicole. Did you feel, coach, that the CSB team last season lacked some kind of intensity, aka that killer instinct against their opponents?
I think so. I still think we should have done better last year. Obviously, we weren't as solid as the previous year. We let some games slip away. I mean, just something just felt off. It's hard trying to put a finger on it, but for sure we learned from that experience, and I guess we'll be a bit better moving forward.
Awesome. Okay, another one here that I want. Ooh, this one's good from RC. Coach, you are an Ateneo alumnus. Did you ever feel awkward or reservation coaching a Lasallian school?
Not really. To me, I'll always be an Atenean. For college, I still consider myself a Xaverian more than anything. Spending a lot of years in Xavier school, but no, it wasn't really. When I first joined CSB, anyways, it was to help my good friend T.Y. Tang, and I didn't think of it as much of a big deal. I mean, wherever I go, whatever team I'm with, that's who I'm loyal to. So I will do my job as much as I can, and I didn't really have a problem. And the LaSalle community has really been welcoming, and I really appreciate them a lot.
The Green Archer Nation group on Facebook is quite active with
It's
CSB
funny.
and
I love
stuff.
I love that group. Sometimes it's like popcorn entertainment.
Nice.
There are a lot
Well,
of questions, man. I mean, it's interesting.
yes, sir. Well, this one's interesting too. Now, you've had a couple of new DLSU recruits recently move to CSB, like James Nakwa, Gilas Youth Standout, Matthew Hucom, Daha, and also Gaspay. There's a question here from I Love Cooper Cup. Coach Topex mentioned before his first year at DLSU that he wanted to push towards a one LaSalle system between LaSalle, CSB, Green Hills, and Zabel. How does the communication between your institutions come about?
I think I have a great relationship with Coach Topex. Number one, I also, some of our managers in CSB also are also the managers of DLSU, so we're connected in that way. When it comes to LaSalle and Zabel, LSGH and Zabel, let's face it, let's not pretend. Obviously, the goal of anybody playing there would first to play for DLSU. So obviously they get the first crack. Um, I think to be fair, Coach Topex also looks out for his guys. Like he knows if his roster is stacked, he'd like to give them an opportunity elsewhere. And he also always calls me, hey, before I let this guy go to other teams or before he transfers, I'm gonna let you know first, so you have a chance to talk to them, chance to meet with them, and he's been doing that. So it's been great. I think we're working well together in a way, and yeah, hopefully we can get more players from DLSU in the future and give them a chance and give them a break.
Absolutely. Good question here. Any push, Coach Charles, for NCAA teams to bring back FSAs in the tournament? Because we know that you have been vocal about saying that FSAs improve the quality of competition in the NCAA.
Oh, I have no idea honestly what's going on in the NCAA and their discussions. Like really, I mean, I just try to focus on things under our control. So right now we will stick with the rules that we have. I mean, I am really clueless. I don't even know the schedule of our game days this upcoming season or this and that. Any rule changes will have to be seen. I'm also hearing other things that they're gonna lower the age limit from 25 to 24 in the NCAA,
Wow.
something like that. But that's pretty much what I know.
Interesting. We'll see how that unfurls. Yes, breaking news, says Nicole. You guys should come back to the CSB paper, Nix, and write about that. Good question here from Pino. Coach, is CSB done recruiting this season, or do you have more surprises in store?
You know what? It's crazy. I've been done a while back, but somehow guys keep showing up on the door, and I'm like, man, okay, I can't say no to these guys. And to be honest, in my head, I've been done months ago. But like Nakua from DLSU showed up. I'm like, all right, yeah, I've liked this game for a while. Of course, I'll take him. And then I don't know if there are other guys. I've been hearing names. Our managers also help us a lot. Boss Frank, Boss Jacob, when it comes to recruiting, even the Reyes brothers. So I'm kind of like in a wait and see mode. If it comes, then we'll discuss it. So yeah, it's
What's the latest about SJ Moore? Is he going to you guys?
I have no idea. To be honest, I just focused on the Jones Cup and trying to manage CSB remotely and keeping up to date with our games there. So yeah, I mean I haven't spoken to him.
Okay, interesting question here from Nico. Coach, how did you deal with the schedule of the Jones Cup with it being compressed? And how was the thought process behind ending mostly with three guard lineups of RJ, Jordan, and Kiefer? Great question, Nico.
Well, the schedule of the Jones Cup is something I've been used to. Like this is my fifth Jones Cup. I mean, as an assistant and as a coach combined. I think in the past there have even been days where it's straight, no breaks. It's not easy, but that's why we talk to the guys about managing their minutes, managing their legs, making sure everybody gets to play and getting guys rest when they can. So that part was okay for me. I mean, the thought process with ending with the three guard lineup was basically I like to end games with Kiefer. I think he's earned that right. Even the guys in the team, the locals really respect his game. And then RJ was playing really well. He hit some big shots for us. And when he hit that bank shot three from the corner, and I drew up a play in overtime, and he hit a three from the corner off the glass. I'm like, okay, this actually might be for us today. I'm like, maybe my bad luck is gone. And then Jordan is like, he's my best shooter in the team. It was just hard that we couldn't get him the ball. Chinese Taipei didn't want to help off him. They really locked him down. They knew that too. Didn't want to get him going. I mean, he had two attempts. I'm disappointed in myself and our guys that we couldn't get set Jordan up a bit more. But I trusted him a lot, and he was really defending well, and he's tough. He's tough as nails. So I figured, we could go small with them. Anyways, they rebound well for guards, and thankfully it worked out.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Coach Charles has given us more time than he initially promised, and we're very thankful for that. So we'll take last three questions here. First, Coach, what was the incentives for your SGA team after winning Jones Cup? Anything you can share?
Uh, just some bonuses for the players. They get some good bonuses. I think they a lot of one game bonuses. So I think the players are pretty happy. I told them, look, for 1 week worth of games, you got your money's worth for sure. Everybody's happy, let's say that. And until I release their bonuses, I'm sure they'll be extra nice to me for so they won't forget me anytime soon.
Gcash ba yan, Coach? Like the
Yeah,
did you send the
they,
Gcash streamers some bonus money for?
I probably should, man. I mean, they were great.
They probably deserve some of that SGA
They,
bonus money too.
they do. They do.
Okay. Okay. Last two questions here. This one I wanted to ask from Basket BPH. Coach, what are your thoughts about the 4 point line in the PBA that they announced today?
I'll carefully phrase it so I can say nicely. I don't like it, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a bit of a gimmick right now. When I don't need it, I think there are deeper issues that they probably need to fix to get everybody interested in the PBA again, and they probably know it too. But maybe it would make the league interesting from a fan's perspective, give something new. But I just know when we came off the plane, the guys were all like, "Man, there's a 4 point line," and it's interesting. There are some interesting ideas I hear they are proposing and about to talk about in the board. But let's see. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's great for all-star games, for fun games, but it's kind of like changing the way basketball's played
Yeah,
because I don't think it's there anywhere in the world. So now we're like joking. If you're up three, all right, definitely foul because there's a 4 point shot. Like,
that's
stuff like
true. That's so true, right? There was something just to add to it. Francis Chua mentioned how this would help opposing teams stop playing zone defense so much. Do you see the point in that?
well, they could still stop playing zone by hitting threes. It's the same thing, I think. I'm not so sure. I don't really want to comment on that. I just want to say I'm not a big fan of it. I'd love for the rules to stay the way they are.
Exactly, exactly. All right. Well, these two questions are connected, so I will ask them together.
I have
From
time for now, so you can go on.
Oh, awesome. Okay, okay. Well, Nicole wants to know, Coach, what's your favorite place to hang out in Taft Avenue? Have you tried barn, chill out, or beach?
I have not been to any one of them. I go to work to practice and go back home or go back to the office after. I actually have not even been. Every time we go to church or to mass in the CSB campus, I don't even know which stairs to go up to. I still get lost. I'm not too familiar. Would love to see or know more about the whole Taft LaSalle culture, maybe.
For sure, for sure. Maybe we need to do a Taft tour one time. What's the most expensive you've paid for a bottle of wine? Because we know you're a wine connoisseur.
I don't know. Let's not leave that in the air. I've drank some expensive wines that I haven't paid for, if that counts. I mean, six-digit wines that,
Damn.
hey, as long as I'm not paying for it, they taste really good. When you're the one putting out money, oh, it hurts.
Well, got you some of that SGA bonus money. Now, Mateus, who is from CSB, has been really asking about a lineup reveal for the Blazers this season. Anyone you can say who for sure will be in your lineup, coach?
Yeah, I think so. I think Alan Liwag will be there for sure. Tony Enot, Winston Enot, I mean, we all call him Tony. Ancheta, Mark Sanko. I think it's pretty sure that, I mean, maybe at least 8, 9, 10 guys are locks to be in the team for sure. The others still have to compete, but yeah, I mean, you'll see. Actually, I'm having a hard time picking 18 guys, to be honest. I do hope they allow us. I mean, the last 2 years we've been allowed to change players every game with the three reserves. I hope they stick with that because there's so many injuries. It would be nice to give players a different chance. I think. So let's see. It's hard for me to pick the final 18.
The last few seasons, you've relied on Will Gosm to kind of be your main guy. Now, Alan Leewog has somewhat taken a bit of that responsibility. What to you are the biggest differences in the way both of them play?
I think right now Allen really plays more of a center position, which we're obviously one day I want to convert him to a power forward to help him and hopefully play overseas. But Will is really more of a four who can play a bit of the three, but we have to play him at the five in the NCAA. Obviously, Will has proven himself more. He's won the MVP and a mythical five, and even from high school, he was a touted prospect back then. Allen came out of nowhere, had a growth spurt sometime in the pandemic, but Allen's got a really, really bright future. I mean, he's to me going to be a surefire PBA player one day at the very least. I do see a similarity in both of them are a bit hot headed and get frustrated, but hopefully they'll mature a bit. I mean, Allen's going to be a good player. I'm a big fan of his game, and hopefully we can help him improve and reach his goals.
Fantastic. What's your future with CSP, coach? I remember the last time you got to speak with me, you mentioned how I believe you weren't sure how many years left you had in your contract. Maybe it was 1 or 2 years. Do you know where it stands now? And do you know how many more years you want to be calling the shots for CSB? Or do you have this plan where once you win a title for CSB, that might be the end of the line?
I don't really know. I haven't given it thought. I just focus one season at a time. I'm at a point in my life, anyways, where I just go with the flow. I mean, I feel there'll always be opportunities to do other things. I mean, I don't know if I still want to stay in basketball as a coach, whatever it is. Also, really taxing, but I do really want to try to win more with CSB. That's a goal of mine, and hopefully we can achieve it this year.
Do you hope to have more fans in attendance during the games this
Absolutely,
season?
we need more fans, man. I mean, all the beautiful and handsome CSB students. I mean, I know we got a good crowd out there. Hopefully, they can come to the games and support us. It would be nice. I mean, I really get envious when schools like San Pedro Letran have their gyms packed with fans.
Coach, give us tickets. Say stick tic tac. Is it hard for CSB fans to get tickets? You guys let us know in the comments. If so, then there has to be some changes made. There was a joke na a lot of times the CSB fans are late because they're still trying to find parking at the San Juan Arena. I don't know how true that is. I do know there's a Santolan Mall in front of San Juan Arena now where you could get parking. Coach, aside from SGA, are you now just focused on CSB completely, or you have maybe another gig coming up soon.
Well,
Another
technically,
coaching
I'm
gig.
a consultant for Manila, but I'm not too active there. I mean, I try to show up in the games once in a while and help them with the management and getting players. But all of that is done already, so we I'll just be focusing more on CSB, and that's what I wanted. That's why I left the PBA. I didn't want to have too many responsibilities basketball wise. So, I mean, being the coach, there are a lot of things, not just about basketball, that we have to deal with too.
Got you. All right. Last question here for Coach before we let him go. Coach, what can the NCAA and CSB community expect from your team in the next few months?
I don't know. I mean, I just know we will go out there and compete every day. I mean, we'll give a different flavor. We'll compete hard, and hopefully, we'll be able to get another Final Four at the very least to start and bring back a championship to Taft.
Would you celebrate with a bonfire in TAF? Would that be possible?
I have no idea. I don't know how it works when it comes to celebrations in there, but to me, it's just about winning. Anything else would be extra for us.
Fantastic. Coach Charles, to everybody. Coach, thanks for tuning in. Apologies for the technical difficulties to begin with. Thank you for answering everybody's questions. And I hope to have you on here in the show again once the NCAA season starts. Really looking forward to watching your team play. I think you guys were the most active off-season participants in tournaments. So you guys will come in very prepared for this NCAA
We've had
season.
way too many games, so we'll see. But thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime. You're always welcome. Thank you, Coach.
All right.